Earnings season, bro.
All right, welcome guys to another episode of earnings season. Your host Randy Rowe at RT Rowe on Twitter,
And I'm Danhai at HNI on Twitter.
and this is another episode of earnings season. Today, Danhai and I are talking about well, you guys have seen the title by now, I'm sure, so you know it's because top two and it's not two. Shout out to Drizzy. We're just pretty much picking two stocks based on what we're seeing happening in the market currently. We're recording this the end of May 2021. Then you told me one time, so I should tell people when we record, and that's against it. And I'm like, you know what, we might as well. Yeah, it's good. Plus, you know what else? I think about the John Jackson episode, which people have seen by now. And as I was listening to the things that we said, especially in part 2, if you haven't heard that yet, guys, go back and listen or watch John Jackson's conversation with us. As into the things that we were saying on that episode, and it sounded like plain stuff. And then I remember say, oh wait, no.
Think of when it was recorded though.
Yeah, we recorded this long ago. This is like mid-February. Yeah. So like I heard, you know what it was? I heard the things being said about lumber.
Mm-hmm.
I heard what I was saying about lumber, and I was like, why am I repeating what the lumber CEO said? And I'm like, oh
no,
yeah,
he's repeating you.
Yo, big up the what's his name, Major Noel Dawes.
Boy, so like I said, Major recorded and say, watch us there.
I wish. I never met him. Major, if you want to come on, you should come on. We'd love to have you on the podcast. But yeah, no, as it's then I realized that no, we haven't. This is before any of that. This is actually before lumber's Q3 results came out. So we wouldn't have seen the third quarter results of lumber when we're talking then.
Yeah.
But
we were looking. I remember you even said this. I think during what? There's me on recordings on my memory, but I think you had mentioned that thing there. It was
big up me also
you mentioned the Q3 results, and I said, "Oh, my real jump is what I'm really looking at the reports afterwards." And then here we are. Both reports. Well, we haven't got the fourth report yet, but based on reports
based on Major's energy boy.
Exactly. what was inferred.
Yeah, boy, I don't usually cut episodes anymore, but I think for this I might even just cut it and drop in a little clip of him talking because he went in, boy. Man say,
you sure we can do that? It'll be Mayberry's clip, so
it would be, but based on what I've seen with Kareem online, apparently anybody can just grab anybody's thing when it's on. Oh God, big up. Boy, I say it wrong. Boy
Things podcast, man. Big up.
Yeah, big up.
Himself, man.
Yeah, I know production crew, Martin putting in the work from year
no work. Martin where we started, people. So yeah,
yes.
Give us our links.
Yeah, the Bamcast.
Give us our links. Yeah. I was gonna keep it going with Kareem.
Boy. I don't remember what the hell we're talking about Kareem now. Oh yeah, well yeah, I don't know if we can. People, if you've just heard it or you just saw us talking about it, then we can. If you didn't, then we couldn't. So there we go. But the point is, on it, he was being very, very, very exuberant, let's say, about lumber's coming results. In fact, well, he wasn't being exuberant about the coming results because he was speaking, even though we haven't seen those results yet, he was speaking, having seen them and known them. In fact, he said, the auditors have it now. So, I mean, the quarter is done for him. He's just waiting for the auditors to go through it. Yeah, and the truth is, if you're running a business tight and properly, the audit report is not going to change very much, if at all, from what you have.
Yeah, I can only think of very small things. Unless it's a surprise.
Yeah, it'd have to be a huge surprise. And he would have had heavy sales, he would have known already, he would have had the heavy profits from that and know already. I doubt anything along the top line or the bottom line would change within the quarter. And all I can hear on the street, on the ground, as John Jackson did ask us, what's the word on the ground? All I can hear on the ground from people is that, cement shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shot, no.
Lumber price is still spiking.
A lot of things going on in the that's apart from the point. That's me running into a tangent right there. But other things going on in the cement space. But in the not in the Caribbean and also worldwide, but in the Caribbean, yeah.
Well, in the Caribbean, it's just one player. Well, top one is not two. I'll make you start it off. Which company you want to start it with?
Top one is not two. All right, so I was jumping around. I was looking at Last F to see if I really like it that much. I might.
Last F?
Yeah, Last F. But I'm going to move away from that. Have more research to do on that one. Because there's one design that I really need to dig in on. We spoke about this privately. Spoken to some clients about it.
Oh yeah, you know, pause and pick up Danhai, license investment Danhai.
Yes, there's no disclaimer on my side. Although I think the disclaimer has changed.
That's exactly what
I'm not giving you advice, but you can contact me for advice.
There we go. Yeah. So guys, this is not financial advice, but if you want official financial advice, you can link Danhai.
We enter into a client relationship, so otherwise. But looking at Sagicor, I usually bash them on this podcast. I'll say that quite a lot this 1 week. How much they probably hear me bashing Sagicor, saying they're the boring company of the finance, of the banking space. Yeah, so they're last year they had a bad year. And it's the same thing we've been talking about since 2018, was it? The Playa. How long have we been giving Sagicor heat, Randy, for Playa?
Oof. It's years now, literally years. It's not 2 or 3. It's not 1 or 2 either. It's maybe 3.
Yeah, and people think,
if not more.
When I mention it, people say, "Oh, so the pandemic where the hotels now were doing it." It's like, boy, when they bought into Playa was acquiring more. There's some companies to do that. They raise heavy debt, that type of thing, and then they start acquiring a lot of things, and then they start trimming the fat and get rid of the debt to get to a point of profitability, right? And Playa was in that mode at the time. But it just never really worked out. Pandemic hit and it got worse. It's actually selling hotels and all sorts of something. Sagicor took some heavy hits last year from them. They had 20 billion in profit before joint ventures and associates. And then after that, you see the profits after that would cut down to 10 billion, which would then say holding Playa shares. They took impairment, they took share of losses on associates, and then that does bring them down to 10 billion profit before tax. So they lost 10 billion just holding Playa shares. And then taxes, of course, it's a 4 billion profit line for them. So the way I'm looking at it, so 21 billion before anything Playa related, which in my opinion, that's terrible, to be honest. So they got rid of the shares now. Essentially they sold the Playa shares to the wider Sagicor group, not the Sagicor we own on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, the Sagicor Financial Corporation / Alliance.
That JMB owns.
Bought into. But I don't think it's a blight on JMB because basically big Sagicor can manage those hits much better than the local Sagicor.
In fact, I could be wrong on that point. I could be wrong on this, but I believe that they shared up the ownership in such a way that large Sagicor also has it as a. I don't believe large Sagicor holds it with the same.
Or the same type of recognition.
Yeah, recognition.
Directorship might claim to that because the way they held it, they're booking it as an associate below the 20% line. So you know how that works out. Because they have a certain level of directors, they book them as an associate, even though associate is usually about.
Or 20%. maybe just because I didn't look through this one.
I need to clarify on that point exactly. But that point doesn't actually affect Sagicor Group Jamaica. But it does affect,
which is the important thing. Yeah.
Well, it does affect Sagicor Financial Corporation, which will then affect JMB. So then you have to look into that more than so.
But I don't think I think they choose to recognize it below the net profit line.
But you remember before that was the issue, as a part of the issue with Sagicor, because they held it as a trading. Oh, you're saying as a thing there. I think they've chosen. Okay, incorporated income. Yeah, but trading gains into that would make sense for them.
Yeah, but then that way it's the best of both worlds, you know. Yeah, if you have a big group with smaller legs in different end markets like Jamaica, you can do that sort of movement and save yourself after how many years? I know them flexing, right?
Yep. So basically, with that's just 10 billion now freed up to the bottom line, but to the profit before tax lines are expecting that. So imagine if you have a 21 billion profit before tax, and you expect probably like a 15 billion in profit after that. which is better than 4 last year. So, and at 4 last year, they had a PE of what exactly?
That's a good question. I don't. They've been either no PE, or you mean negative, or very huge numbers because.
Hold on, let me actually check.
Okay.
Where's the?
I'm currently at 52. I'm putting them at. I'm not sure which one of these PEs are right because it's still work in progress.
I'm just going to check on the. Sorry, let's run the market cap first.
Market cap or the total units?
The profit over the profit line. We should get a PE.
Sorry, what did you say? I didn't catch that.
Market cap.
The current market cap?
Yeah.
203 billion, 210 million, 184,783 and 54 cents, and that's at a market price of 52.03.
Yeah, so I'll give it my thing there. Huge PE.
How did you work on market cap for the PE just now?
Oh, so again, it'll be because it's basically price to earnings. So this price per share to earnings per share would be the same as market cap to the actual earnings. So.
Okay, the ratio, yeah.
It just works out easier for me because I love to calculate earnings per share that way. But yeah, that gives them a PE of 50 at 4. But then you see very quickly, it does this quarter, they doubled the profit. So
I mean the profit now enough of March 2.9
billion compared to
1.9 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the actually some great changes over the year, and you'll probably see them moving into better profitability. So you probably expect like a 15 billion in earnings. Should be
strong.
Which would give them a PE of 13.
Suddenly very, 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 very strong.
So over the next year, I get from Sagittarius. But even funny, over the next year, when over the next year, but one report come out early. So over the next 9 months even. And I think they had a loss in the quarter after next. So you might see the price moving fast then at that point.
Yeah, if people, well, you know what, I say people run into it, but I think the last half of 2021 is going to see the financials really rise, meaning the financial entities on the market are really, really rising, coming into their own. So it's a good time for them to be flexing their muscles because all of the financial houses are really about to pay. Yeah. I was tempted to go off the tangent of large corporates playing within the region and go with Carib Cement, but instead I think I'll talk about one of my top 2. I wanted JMB.
Yeah. I was leading JMB because I already mentioned such a thing.
Yeah, you know, because but technically
no, it's better for you to mention than me then.
Yeah, JMB, boy, I don't know.
One of the most undervalued companies right now.
Yeah. You know what? I won't say JMB. Big up JMB, but I'm not going to say JMB. Instead, I will run with JP, Jamaica Producers. Really one of the most undervalued companies right now.
Yes.
And these guys dropped their first quarter results, or as they put it, their 13-week results. They dropped at the same time that about the same time that NCB dropped the Guardian off of a sale of shares in NCB dropped Guardian off of a sale of shares, right? I think just maybe a little buzz around the JHL sale causes to be missed. These guys are not joking. They're now one of the most undervalued companies on the exchange. Yeah. Of course, the biggest thing, or in the most visible thing that they've done recently is they bought into that Geest Line shipping company. I think everybody's kind of waiting to see what will the Geest Line look like. Yeah, I mean, you know it already for me. I don't believe in waiting to see. You go there and
you go and
put it. Yeah, and the biggest thing about the geese line, in my view, is that I suspect it is an expense reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because geese line moves fruit and so on from the Caribbean to England,
So
Europe.
it's basically, yeah. It's funny enough. When I saw it, I was like, this reminds me of the talk we had earlier on the whole distribution setup that they're having over UK, and we're talking about just basically how they're making it into just buying into your expense line as a profit line, so a revenue line. So
yeah, they did it with the warehousing. I mean, they own Kingston Wharves. They did, and they have a similar sort of setup in England, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I know the shipping company that is the largest shipping company in terms of the Eastern Caribbean, but more importantly, that shipping company does the movement of fruit and so on from the Caribbean to there, and that's what they make a lot of money from.
Mm-hmm.
That movement. Also, you hear them talking about it, they speak about. I wouldn't actually be surprised if Geese Line comes in at a loss. You get me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meaning it's not necessarily a profitable company that they bought. Could be wrong, but the important thing here is that. Say that again.
The synergy alone opens
just
up
the synergy, much. Exactly.
And just think about how much it opens up JP as a Caribbean, not a local company, a Caribbean company. Because if they're basically just about now doing that, they're probably one of the largest distribution, just cross, how do you call that? Cross Pacific, whatever, distribution companies at this point, if they're doing that type of shipping, that level.
Yeah,
because just for Jamaica, and just recently, somebody sent it in our group we're in with the thing there. I don't know if it's either somebody sent it or when they're talking about Jamaica, it's working out as a logistics over that type of thing. I'll have to find it and send it later, probably in the show notes, but something of that sort. But that just ties directly back into JP, you know they are now.
Yeah, JP is
strong.
Yeah, beyond strong, but and heavily undervalued, right? PE, I believe his PE is correct. PE of 11 times, I believe. I won't swear to you, but I believe it's a PE of 11 times. This sort of company is supposed to be anywhere down at these levels, brother. And post results, the price has fallen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the results came out on the 17th of May, and the price was $23.46. Then now the price is $23.31. You know what it is? It's a company where you're not going to hear a lot of hype around it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want some quiet, reliable gains, I suspect that. Well, I would like that. I suspect that I'll find it in JP, but it means you have to sit down in this and possibly go through a time where the thing your money is in is really boring, right? While everybody else might be very excited about the other things happening. Yeah, but JP really is really bringing. And yo, speaking about synergies, right? If you listen to how they speak about what is possible with Geese Line and JP, and how do you call it? I don't know. They have it in logistics where it's like it's shipping to your gate, really. Mm-hmm. So something can be shipped from another country, lands, clears custom, and then is delivered literally to your gate. I am waiting to hear about some synergies between them and our company.
They spoke about they check Geese. They speak about that specific type of shipping for yeah.
Exactly. I was looking at that. And the Geese speaks about shipping and getting it directly to you, right? JP speaks about expanding its logistics and wanting to be there. And that immediately made me start thinking about Mailpack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would a partnership between them look like, right? Mailpack and them maybe sharing warehousing, they handling Geese and which handles the major shipping, warehousing via Mailpack handling customs and clearing or whatever, and then delivery straight to your doorstep. So win-win with both companies. I mean, the people.
Does that type of thing in general. And I wouldn't sleep on Mailpack either.
Yeah.
Recently they spoke about the prepaid card. I've spoken about that. This is funny and interesting because about the time I speak about one thing for the week, and because of the new job, and then I come here, so I feel like I say it back. I think they just
what they get some free work.
Yeah. What they did with the thing there with the prepaid cards, Alliance moment of silence. We're waiting, Alliance. Just tell us what went wrong. Cool.
Yes, please. You know what? I'll even go out and say this. Don't tell us. I mean, I believe in what I said. That I think they'll
I really want to hear it. But
yeah, I don't think we will. But if they come to market and the offer is good, honestly, I don't give it. Are you above board? Everything above board here? Are the numbers good? Is the offer good? I'm good personally, but I can't speak for the industry or what the general market might feel. But I really don't care. Yeah, honestly, just run me my money. Right? Yeah. Mail pack and the cards.
Oh, mail pack and the cards. Yeah, the prepaid cards. That type of thing. Well, I always talk about float here. So if I just having money in mail pack's pocket before, that's just cash up front. When you sell some of their prepaid card, you're locking them in. Because if I have my credit card from Scotia, then I spend it anywhere I want to spend it. If I have a mail pack card, I already get the money, and any money I'm spending is going through mail pack. So that's just I have the cash before, and the expenses from that cash we paid. Someone is coming to me, so they just win right there.
Yeah, they win a couple of times, Welter, because if you think about it, if you don't use that card, or while you haven't used the cash on the card, Mailpack has that money. Yeah, it's just sitting there. Mailpack just has that money, and I'm sure
investing whatever way.
Yeah, which is another reason why I'd love to be a part owner of Alliance, right? Because money that you get from your card payment, which they did say before that prospectus was pulled, they did say in it that card services is something that they're looking for as their growth area. Yeah, so major opportunity there. What a synergy. Imagine if you invest in the big money, or you like to invest in industries, or you like to invest in a total effort, I would love, and again, remember, this is an assumption on my part, assumption on our part. I don't know of any official link between Mailpack and JP. But if there were such a link, imagine being able to that. And if we already know officially of the link between Mailpack and Alliance. So imagine being able to own all three of that. You get to eat all along the chain, right? Yeah, that would be a in my view an amazing thing. Yeah, and as you mentioned, Mailpack too, these guys, I have to big them up for what they've been doing since listing. Like, you can't hate them. Since the IPO, these guys have returned 15% of the IPO money to
shareholders.
15% of the money. Yeah.
Almost unheard of.
Almost unheard of. Within how had they been listed a year yet? They listed the end of 2019. Yeah. So almost 2020. Almost 2 years. So end of 2019.
Not even almost a year and a half.
Within a year and a half, they have returned 15% of the IPO money to people who bought at the IPO. And in terms of cap gains, they have just put a little 278% on top of the money. And only set themselves up to grow more. And at this point, with this sort of dividend payout that we're seeing here, I mean, the man them look like them going quarterly. They honestly look like they're going quarterly. Latest dividend is 6 cents.
And with this type of cash,
5 cents. Sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. So what you're not seeing? They've just declared it, so it hasn't been paid yet. But 5 cents, and it's going to be paid in the middle of June. Wow. 20% of the I was wrong. 20% of the IPO money would have been returned by the middle of June. 20% of your money back with, at this point, 278% on top of your initial money.
Hold on, let me see this.
Huh?
Hold on, let me see this. In 2019, brother.
I think so.
So with that type of timeline, it takes you, wow.
Yeah, there are very few things that can match that sort of return.
Dividend discount model use up. That's also quite nice, right? Yeah, a year and a half or there, or less than a year and a half, or December, less than a year and a half, a year and a half actually, because I count in May and December as well. Full months, so a year and a half.
Wow, a year and a half, 20% dividend, 20% of your initial investment returned via dividend, 278% on top of your initial principal.
The long term for real, Mailpack. is and was a good bet. So imagine just sinking money in the IPO if you hear so year and a half.
I mean, realistically speaking, though, the IPO was heavily oversubscribed, so I don't think people would have done.
But
yeah,
no problem averaging up on a good stock. You'd have been making money in cap gains, and then you get in a dividend cash to your pocket.
If you bought all the way up to, even if you bought 100% higher than the IPO, so even if you go up to 200,
and there's a lot of $2 after money in and get a $2 average purchase price.
Yo, oh my God!
As I've said it so much time, the market has been so good to me in terms of my outlook on Jamaica and where we're going. Think of the JP move. Think of just over and over and over. I say, Chris Berry tweeted recently about
Legend.
Yeah, my Legend.
Eating more and more. Eating more and more.
I wonder if he knows. Yeah. I see he made a tweet about JC poised to become regional exchange as it's the only liquid forex market in the Caribbean. I think we mentioned both of those points separately though. But JC becoming a regional exchange and the liquid us being the only liquid forex market in the Caribbean. So combining them, you see a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. I've always said that I've always wanted JC to have maybe some regional competition, but two, I've also thought that JC is sleeping on what it
can be.
Really sleeping on what it could be, because I believe that it can truly be much bigger than it is currently, right? But here's a tweet. JC poised to become regional exchange as it's the only liquid forex market in the Caribbean. I think JC have a whole heap of potential. Yeah, man, a whole heap of potential.
Still outside the long term, in my mind.
Yeah, remember this, you know.
That JC for a long time.
Remember that under CARICOM, you know, under CARICOM. That was a big drop. Sorry. I'm not sure what just happened. As we say, remember that under CARICOM rules currently, they don't really need to like enter another market and speak to the people. Like a company in another country can simply just list on the JSE. Right, and with JTrader as a platform, anybody in the Caribbean can invest from anywhere, really, assuming that they have the broker to go through. All right,
and with the brokers, it presents a nice opportunity for JSE and for local brokers. JMB in Trinidad. So imagine, look, say a broker in St. Vincent can then become a JSE member dealer and that's where that. So that might be on the expansion of some of JC's rules, but there's nothing stopping a private company from making new rules. So.
Yeah, and well, I don't know if I think it still fits under JC rules, man, because JC speaks the region and the world.
No, I'm talking about being a member dealer. I don't know how that exactly works. So I have to actually check it. I know member dealers are generally, they have to be investment dealers under Jamaica. I know securities I've thought about it. But I can't say. But if you have partnerships like that, like how we have with the TTSE and the cross-listing type of thing, then it works seamlessly.
Yeah, I didn't have a cross-listing.
I don't have cross-listing. I think we can hear that at some point.
Yeah, in fact, we can even go simpler. I believe, could be wrong, but I believe GK Cap has a presence there. NCB has a presence in the region. JMB, as you mentioned, has a presence in the region. NCB has a presence in the region. That's huge. They literally just, I believe Barita has a presence in the region.
Sagicor definitely has a presence in the region.
Right? I mean, NCB already is in the region via Guardian. So it's definitely there. Sagicor is already there. JMB is there via its associate company, Sagicor.
And
We already win.
JMB is in Trinidad as a broker.
Yes. Guardian is talking about becoming a merchant bank in Trinidad, and I mean, he can offer those services pretty easily. Guardian, being a stockbroker, is nothing to them, and they already have the regional presence.
NCB changed the name to NCB Global Holding. They didn't change the name or something recently.
They changed the name of NCB in Trinidad to NCB Merchant Bank. Yeah, which I think is part of Guardian's overall strategy.
And it's not NCB Global Holdings?
That's NCB Global Finance, I think. Very similar names, yeah. Very similar names. That's one of the things I wanted to ask John Jackson about, those similar name things that a lot of companies on the exchange do. Him himself, some of his companies, I think, do some of that same thing, to that similar name thing. You can do a lot when you have these similar name things, because people tend not to notice it, right? Yeah, Barita does a lot of that.
Speaking of names, with Barita and similar names.
Oh God!
There was a notice out, or I know somebody brought it up. I know at inception when Cornerstone put out the buy, one of 4 points that we spoke about was into our podcast then was the name change clause that Barita had for 2 years, where they couldn't change the name from Barita. That's expired, I believe. So.
You mean okay? As in they had to be Barita.
They have to name Barita Investment Limited for at least 2 years after the buyout. So
yeah,
we might see, and Cornerstone even change MF&G to Cornerstone Merchant. So we might see a name change and action around that. My idea I remember when I first saw the name change clause, I fully thought these guys are trying to become something bigger than they are now, and the moves keep aligning to looking like that, in my opinion.
Well, I believe they intend to use the Barita name like across the board, right? They did say that actually.
They're using Cornerstone name across the board so far.
So far, I believe so, but I believe that they said, going back in time here, they said, in fact, here is I'll just share the snippet with you. When Cornerstone had bought MFG, they said that if they're given regulatory approval, of course anything could have changed in the 2 years, I feel like 10 years if you count the pandemic, but anything could have changed in that time. But they did say that subject to regulatory approval, Cornerstone intends to deliver blah 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 superior product and customer experiences under a single Barita brand, and MFG will be rebranded using the Barita name because it has significant brand equity, right? In its leg, and that's true. People know about Barita over the years. Barita.
I kind of actually, my thought was that I would like to see thing there.
Cornerstone.
But no, Barita actually, because I kept thinking about more than one time over the last couple of weeks. I thought about how much Rita Humphries has done for our equity markets, and it's just as a legacy thing to have her name stamped there. I'll probably see it there than on Cornerstone. But not bashing Cornerstone, I'm a fan, so just as an ode to Rita.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I've decided that you're bashing Cornerstone. It's so weird. But yeah, this I can see because Jamaicans know Barita. We might learn about Cornerstone.
Making money for jingle.
Yeah. Making money, yeah. They didn't pay for an ad, easy. but this, I think, is something that's coming. I think it's something that will work well. And this is them being very clear about going into the banking space. I'd have to tell anybody about banking in Jamaica and what that is like. So any change to it would be great. Anything to make
opportunity.
Oh my God,
opportunity is there in the face of inefficiency. Always about opportunity. So,
exactly.
And Barita, they're very much all about being a breath of fresh air. So they're a very young brand in terms of how they position themselves and sell themselves the name. So
right,
I can see where they could move in towards a newer type of outlook on the banking space, not the same old boring type of thing.
No, continue.
I was saying that's just if even we only get Barita Investments and there's a bank and just the banking side is adjacent. So like say MF&G becomes a commercial bank. So if that's just adjacent we don't own it at all, that actually just works out very strongly for Barita. Because the cross-selling of products just works out, and company we can own it, benefits there.
Yeah, that is true. And I would love if there was some way to allow me to own the part that we currently can't own, right? Yeah, Cornerstone, because don't ramp with Cornerstone, and they've been.
Imagine them moving into insurance. That would be great.
Yep.
Boy,
wow.
They have available to them. Imagine if they had bought Key and just take that big jump into it. Just take a big jump into that space, and then
that would have been amazing. Instead, GK did it, right?
Which is still amazing. So you can't complain at all.
Yeah. As into marketing wise, like you said, Barita has done an amazing job of refreshing its brand, getting itself looking new, being thought of as new. It's young people alone are here to talk about Barita now, right? The marketing guy, the bow tie guy, he can deserve a raise, because he's definitely put out the word there. But as you raised the point about GK, I have to respect how they have refreshed themselves as a company. Not talking about image now, we're talking about the company's performance.
What's their revenue right now?
Ooh. Yo, the man even make food exciting again. And you know, people who know better. People who know better know it's a GK and food.
But no. Matter.
No, the man they make food better. And they're quietly doing, like, it's almost like, yo, in America or in any other advanced market, this will be considered like a major water play. Then buy Catherine's Peak, then buy 876 water.
You take a consolidation of the water sector.
Right? Right? There's a personal story I wanted to say about buying some land with water, but that's an off-air story. But GK is really, 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 really being impressive.
The revenue last year was 110 billion. Remember what their target was? The target 2 years ago was for 2024, 100 billion in revenue.
Sorry, you said their revenue last year was how much?
End of last year, December 2020, 110 billion.
Now 116?
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at my money, JA. You have full year profit.
Right. I never watched the interest revenue. So yes, the revenue itself, 116. Yeah. 15. So, that's 15% above that next year's target, which next year's target 2 years ago was 100 billion. Remember that? It was a big deal. Every analyst right about it. By 2024, in their 100-year anniversary, whatever, 100 billion. And they say, yo, COVID come, and we move on it.
Do it early. Do it early. That is impressive. They've always done that, actually. They have that thing where they go, they wanted 50% of profits or whatever to come from outside of Jamaica. They've always done it. They continue to do it and do it ahead of time. Big up Dan Webby and company there. Who was also their moves, I mean, help us make our money. If only from Key. if only from Key. The glistening gold. Full year income was 6.8 billion last year, and in the first quarter of this year at 1 what am I looking at here? That's comprehensive. 1.8 billion in terms of their income, and they are undervalued. There's no JP's undervalued. These guys are undervalued just as much, and
I find that very funny. The way we undervalue large companies. I always say our market, we seem to be afraid to buy large trusted companies, which you would think somebody would forward price easier. We buy them at lower multiples. It might be a psychological thing we do, the price being high, that type of thing.
Definitely a nominal figure thing.
We think about other markets where, boy, it's just the strong trusted brand almost in some people's eyes too big to fail. Then you start hearing multiples start going out the door because it's we buy that on a premium just because of the strength of the brand, the strength of what they do for the region. Apple, Amazon, that type of thing. You find huge multiples on it. We just price too high.
I think in other advanced markets, especially the American market, less fear and a lot more trust, and you can it's easier to get current cash flow from a large financial or from an institutional on the promise of future profits, future income, right? In Jamaica, because we've been so scared, we've been so fearful. The 90s really hit us in a hard way, and it not just in terms of our actual numbers, but our psyche. Yeah, I always say, Danhai and I talk about that what happened then in many ways has impacted how we see the equity markets now. The equity markets now is almost like it's born again, because not many people even know what
it's such a new thing to some people. You have people thinking the stock exchange was exclusive, and then you have and then people thinking the stock exchange was non-existent. You have people that know about NYC and don't know that JC exists. And they come and like, wait, what happened? We have a stock exchange.
Yeah, and then you have people who think of it as government.
Oh yes.
Yeah. A lot of people think of it. Two weird things I find people think about the JSC in a way. They think of it as government, and I think of it as charity.
Yes.
Yeah. They think of it as, the government need for it's a private company.
Private company, yes.
Two, they think of it as charity. So like, blah blah blah, this needs to be free, and everything around it needs to be free. No, it's the equity market. It's not a free thing. It is how people
think about it. Give JC stocks to those people. Because already just buy it. It makes it even better if they buy it. So you know how skin in the game way more than if you have it free. Think of how they think of the thinking changes. I think they think about as a company, as a stock. But last year can I do that to you? I will quickly do that to you. Say, I'm actually check up on the company because I've been losing money. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah. It's a hell of a change. But going back to GK, they have amazing exposure all over, right? So they have the food, they have food in more than one market. I think of them as like a JBG with more footprint and no Haiti. So they're so good. They're so good in terms of their options, and they're exposed to finance. Kind of a finance arm, finance and insurance. And
that does so much for them if you think about
it. It does so much. It does so much for them, and will do so much more.
Think about you owning just GK food, right? And then just one day somebody says there's a bank on sale and you can buy it. It does, yeah, definitely.
I'd love to own GKFG. I hope they spin it off. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah. Big up Smithy. Smithy says Smithy has this theory that every time GK gets close to $100 share price, they split. Yeah.
That's split.
He said it to me the other day, and well, first of all, I say, Smithy, that's not how it works. But to his credit, he said, well, I'm showing me the last 2 times that it happened, right? I say, the prices don't live on their own. People make decisions, but I don't know why they made those decisions. And whatever reason it is that they would have made those decisions in the past could still exist. Yeah, I would love if they did that, or if they spun off and separated the food division properly from the finance division. My God, the amount of money that would be, right?
Oh, God.
The amount of money that would be. And it's so funny I'm saying that, but in another way, we'll have to pick one of these companies and call it the second one. In another way, NCB selling Guardian is them spinning off their insurance arm, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It was already spun off. We're just giving you a better access to it, right? Yeah. Now I think the real question is, will they do a split? Everybody, they do a split?
So I've been waiting, actually. I've been waiting to cross the thing there. I was looking at, so the split and raise, or the split out. They don't move to the Jamaican market of thing here. There's no, we'll give me a good reason to move to JA.
Well, they gave us a reason, right? What was the reason that they gave?
More vibrant market thing there.
Yada, more liquidity.
Which does
they mentioned the valuation of their shares, and mentioned the valuation of their shares, and they mentioned just the vibrancy and the things you can do there, right? We know they've raised debt. Say that again?
Which ties into each other.
Yes, we know they've raised debt here. We know that they have debt on the private market here. And now we see them relisted here again. and doing an offer for sale of shares at $7.95, which as we speak, you can actually buy it on the market for cheaper than the IPO. Which is
not even IPO, that's all.
I said an IPO, it's not an IPO. Yeah, the sale of shares.
You know what happens when they say that people are thinking of it as an IPO.
Exactly.
So to me, if you split in Trinidad, what happens?
Let them split, right? Because it's everywhere.
I just think if they never came to Jamaica with the shares and they split in Trinidad, loop war. Split in Jamaica.
All 15 people on the Trinidadian market.
Exactly. Right? So, oh my God, we got 3 more trades.
Yeah.
If you split your hair, then you start seeing that quickly.
Yo, let's say they do 100-to-1 split, right? Because they're doing the offer for sale at $7.95. Let's say they do 100-to-1 split, so they split down to $7.95 post offer for sale. That would go to maybe $20-something in my view, immediately. Because $7.95 is too close to 10. It's going to fly, and let's remember that at $795, it's currently undervalued. In my
most recent results they put out, they knock off a loss of other thing there the first quarter. Strong results. It's got heavy profit compared to our last year.
And these guys aren't joking either with the insurance game. You know, I've been paying some attention. I've been doing some digging up because one of the companies I'm looking at the next advanced grow, and they're within the region they're growing heavily, and they're grabbing a lot of stuff. Then buy up a bunch of the there's so many tangents here. They bought up a bunch of the, I could be wrong. They bought up a bunch of the insurance brokers in Netherlands. You have enough brokers at an insurance company right there, you know. You see me, I'm a Google translator, work the whole late night, I read up. Yeah, so they buy up a bunch, I won't even try and pronounce the name. So they buy up a bunch of brokers in Netherlands. Within the region, they have stuff. I think within Bahamas, they have an associate company, Royal Star, I think. They themselves are growing great. They just got AARP membership in America, or some alliance with AARP, and they're looking for ways in which I can grow. You look on the US market, you see people living longer, so that means they're using the AARP more. You don't have to be old to have AARP membership, right? You can be young, or you can get it through your parents or whatever. And you know my mantra, the insurance is the new banking. So they're bringing in heavy growth. They've gotten the COVID hit, and I'm going to say they've gotten over it. And if depend on here's a gem, depend on your interpretation or understanding of IFRS 17, that might actually be super profits for them going forward, or super profits for them going into it. IFRS 17, I think, takes effect 2023, but you can, if you want to,
2022, January 1st, replace it IFRS 4 on January 1st, 2022.
So I'd say it has annual periods ending, I think, in 2023 or something like that. But the point is, you can choose to recognize it before if you have. I've forgotten the reason why. Point is, if you check out what that actually is and what it means and what it could imply, a lot of insurance companies, it might be a good thing to own or a bad thing. You can go and do your homework. But it is this as an insurance company is an amazing thing to own. And then you remember that it's owned by NCB, which just happens to be the regional banking giant. Depending on who you ask, and I'm the one saying it. I'm gonna say, I guess maybe it's a Republic. Yeah. I'm gonna bank on NCB. Yeah, I don't know Republic. I know NCB. I know Legion. This Guardian business here is an amazing thing. I mean, if you think of it as a spin-off of NCB's insurance business, then this is an amazing thing to happen. If you buy this at $7.95 and these guys do a split, we don't know if them doing a split. This is speculation. But if them do a split at $7.95, and again, even if them do a split, we don't know what the split would be. But let's say they split down to 100-to-1 split, $7.95. You can put it. You can say, I tell you, $20 within a year, within a quarter, I would say, but $20 within a year. My personal.
Easy.
Because everybody would immediately rush it. I think it's fairly valued at about $15 currently. So I'd probably push it to $30. Yo, 30.
Word.
Yeah, but it's for those who are patient and if of course any of this stuff works out, right? Assuming any of this stuff works out. And I mentioned the point about them buying up those brokers, and it made me think about the amount of brokers that we have in Jamaica, or insurance brokers, some of whom are listed. At what point do you think an insurance company here is going to say, let me buy up some of these brokers and just control that vertical fully? You know, let me stop paying out commission to these guys who are writing for me. Like if I am, I don't know, I'm sorry if I've gotten this wrong, saying this off the top of my head, but if like CABROKERS, if Caribbean Insurance Brokers writes mainly for Sagicor, I believe pays them a commission for everything that they write. At what point do I just go, why don't I just buy them so I don't have to pay them a commission anymore? They're no longer just a separate thing. They're now just they're just a Sagicor office. At what point do I do that in order to control my expenses, because I have to keep as much money as I can in house because you know the reinsurance business works? At what point does it make perfect sense for them? At that point, it'd be really good to own brokerage shares if you can, right? I would have that many listed. Yeah, without that many listed, we have. I think it's just cap.
I was actually, I think I mentioned this too. I was wondering if SVL would buy NCBFG.
No, that was actually going to be my second pick. That company.
SVL.
My official second pick. Yeah, SVL. You know me, I love them in terms of infrastructure. Yeah, that's what SVL is. Right? Infrastructure company that happens to also sell lottery tickets. That's how I see them. Oh yeah, we make a lot of cash from.
I started calling them mini Berkshire.
I think of them as I was gonna say Vanguard, but that's Mayberry. I think of as Vanguard. Berkshire, why? Why you say that?
Well, it's actually Mayberry is more the Vanguard.
Yeah, Mayberry is Vanguard in my opinion.
It's still Mayberry with more Berkshire than SVL, because Mayberry they're using SVL the same way they use what do you call it again? Berkshire, the same way Berkshire uses insurance companies.
I think it's an insurance company called it's Geico, but what's the whatever it is, I can't even bother look it up right now. But yeah,
but heavy cash, we're buying some things. Heavy cash, we're buying some things.
Yep. In fact, I like SVL I'd say almost better than an insurance company.
Oh, it's same.
Yeah.
The constraints are not there.
Less constraints. Yeah.
The real constraint is paying out.
Exactly.
Versus we have to maintain this certain amount of assets in this certain way.
And we're restricted in what we can touch. Yeah. We have to buy certain. The government can mandate that we buy certain things. Government can mandate blah blah blah. SVL now. SVL is just. If you catch what a man play, we'll pay you. Matter of fact, they report the numbers to us after they've paid out. Beautiful. Beautiful. And they have, if you think about it, we say cash pot machine. There's one everywhere. That's a network of that's a network. That's a financial network. That's not considered a financial network.
I don't know where I saw it, but I don't know if it was in the audit or something. It's the custodian for the money, the thing that they call it. This is a tangent, by the way. This is probably not even material. I think it's Mayberry, right? I don't know where. I think I saw it somewhere. I have to check, but I think Mayberry. It's just another way of controlling the float and things and how they do. It doesn't actually matter what they're saying. That's a point.
Oh, but whoever controls the float. That is an important point. What do you mean? That is a hell of an important point. That's where the cash sits, right?
No, that's what I was wondering. I don't know if I saw it somewhere. I feel like I did, but I have to actually double down on that.
No, SVL is in my view, that's the second of my top two, and it's not two. Oh my God, man!
You see the queue
for SVL? I have not looked at it.
Teens like a couple weeks now, and then it's in the 20s pushing.
It's hard. Over 20 now.
And the queue is a very short one on the sell side.
Oh! So it's primed for growth.
The seed man.
Wow!
We have to move again. And just remember, it was pre-pandemic, and then It's past that now, I believe. Unless if it's a little bit low.
Even at $20. And even on the betting side of the business, you know, they're still strong. I think you were pointing out the other day that, I haven't heard anything from the
next two.
From the entrance in a while.
You hear some ads and then boop.
Yeah, we see the share price flying up.
They're showing their strength, man. They're showing their strength in the market as the actual leaders of the betting market, and then they're doing quite a bit more.
Yeah, the growth.
It's still fintech.
Yeah, I don't expect the growth to
came on us.
Even that is so great.
And I have to wonder. I saw a thing there. I call it again. They came on as we spoke about it recently at our last episode. We spoke about it.
The chairman?
No, man. I think that's the thing there. The planned developments around the area.
Yeah. The tourism.
Yeah, the special economic zone and everything around that. And then think of how that will feed into Cayman as if Cayman is used as more than just a thing there, more than just a race ground. The boys buy into main events, so you just more type of events being held there as more of a thing there, entertainment ground generally, and not just a race ground. Then you might see some heavy growth from both of them if it's a World Cup type of thing.
What do you think that is? So what do you think the main event thing is? And they've come out, SVL has come out openly and said that they're looking to do an events company, they said. I don't know if I get it right.
Events company.
I'm trying to remember what the exact thing was that they said that they're looking to do. Something like that. But it was a little after. It was like a day or two after they'd done the announcement about a day or two after they'd done the announcement about buying into main event, which they share some leadership with, right? I even heard questions around whether or not it's a conflict of interest. I think we just use that term wildly.
They use it as if they're saying it. I don't know if they're using it correctly or people use it correctly and everybody just takes up a negative connotation at the end of it. It's not a conflict of interest, isn't a bad thing. It's just there is a conflict in I'm going to say about the same thing. So there's competing interests in terms of not necessarily against each other. It's just that I have an interest in this, and then there's another interest by positioning myself in that certainly. So it's like a competing say, look at this. If you own a bag juice company, right? You and your father together, and then you set for next bag juice company. Your father gave permission and everything to do it. There's conflict of interest by you by you having the next bag juice company.
Because you're competing, correct? You're in a competitive business. It could be, it could be seen that way.
But people might take it as boy, when father vex, and in reality, everything cool. You probably buy anything there. What do you call it again? The
scoops and creamy.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
Conflict of interest is there. That's why lawyers always like to disclose and talk about it, see if it's fine. So it's not a bad thing that there's a conflict of interest. It's just that conflict of interest. So if it's not a bad word.
I don't know that there's even any conflict there. If Supreme Ventures know they're going to be looking at events more and more, it makes sense to buy the company that you're going to be partnering with heavily. It's just like always said, it's just like JP and Geest. We ship a lot of fruits. Ship a lot of fruits to Europe. So it makes sense to buy a shipping company that ships fruits to Europe. Yeah. You know what I haven't heard anybody really talk about with main event and this SVL thing. A part of main event, I mean, my girl got to know this from doing the move up on main event. But part of main event is that screens. They have a lot of screens and there's something screen-wise there. Is there any synergy between what main event does with screens, especially in the region, and what SVL does in terms of horse racing? SVL came on us in terms of horse racing. There could be that, right? And we know that SVL has a deal to broadcast the races from Caymanas within the region, I think, to other parts of the world. UK, I think South Africa too.
I think so. And the African thing was peak.
Cashpot.
Cashpot.
Cashpot is South Africa, correct? Yo, these guys are this
worldwide, bro. Worldwide.
without any of this, the headaches of a insurance the difference between a betting company and insurance company is that sometimes the insurance company has to give you back some of the money.
Betting you lose, you win.
Yeah, you win, it's cool. Go again. The host always wins.
Yeah.
SBL as our second company is amazing, and that queue really looks ripe for growth. But again, it is a patience and whether or not it seems exciting to you. And these guys are consistent dividend payers every quarter.
Oh, yes.
Every quarter there's a nice consistent dividend being paid, one or the other.
Know from the part that if enough money is there, getting a special dividend with it.
Of course, yeah, man. If anything special at all happens, you see a special dividend payout, right? I mean, look at that. That's a strong, consistent dividend for the people who care about that and the people who can put money into that. That's a serious thing to look at. Honestly, that's wonderful. All right, that's my second one. Give me your.
Right. So I'll go boring. Jump back on something we spoke about. I mentioned it in the John Jackson episode. So you probably
what was that?
Signals. I mentioned how it was at the time I wouldn't have been buying, but then very quickly it became. Sometime after that, when results came out and it fell, and then that's when I would have been buying. Up to now, I look at the thing. I look at the results that they've put out recently, and it's just showing strong movements from just the raise. They've made new investments, money coming in heavier. Interesting, if you look at the debt, they have some more. They have some more money from the raise still left, so that's more money to deploy. More money can come
as they call it.
So yes, so they're in a very good space. More money on the books, still heavier investments, more revenue coming in, better profits. They might cut down on the interest expense side I mentioned earlier before. So to be honest, Signals is not as complicated as those guys on Twitter will tell you. So to be honest,
they got Signals still
over next year. I expect some goodness from Signals.
Yeah, over the next year.
And even quicker than that, you'll see more, but just I think a year of consistent growth. And the way the type of company they are, you see how much they do here, how well they compound money.
Yeah, like as we've said before, that they are a function of their dry powder, their deployed powder. So from you see them do the APO, I mean, I'm not sticking around for the APO, and I didn't.
So that's cool. Almost immediately.
yeah. You get me? I when it comes to investing, it's okay to be a wagonist. I'm a wagonist when it comes to this stuff, right? Them raising money.
On the sidelines.
yeah. I'm like, hey, good work, guys. You give that company the money. You've done it, and
when you're gonna buy a thing at the APO price.
Yeah, and below, I believe. Yeah, and below, yeah, and it's
so
still
some deals.
Yeah, and we're still below. I think we're still below IPO price, no?
No, we're above.
We're above IPO price, no?
I believe so. IPO price also 15, 16, I think 16. It might be below, you know.
Well, it's currently at 15.59. So it's below IPO. Even anywhere near IPO, this is a company that is orders of magnitude larger than it was at IPO. I mean, the latest quarter results alone show you that, and these guys have some consistent earnings, right? I think every company shows some amount of seasonality, but I don't know if they have that much seasonality because their income.
It's just payments.
Exactly, their income is another company's bills. Yeah, the loan money that you have to pay back is the loan money. It don't shift down because your numbers are low. But then again, I don't know if like maybe they have some companies where they get a percentage of rev or whatever. But I think they have. My assumption is that they have pretty steady revenues there. So as a function of the dry powder, or put it in simple terms, any amount of money them give out, a percentage of that is coming back to them as revenue.
I've mentioned recently. I think that when a manufacturing company does a raise, then they say, well, we buy a new factory, then we have to hire workers, and then everything has to line up properly supposed to
ramp up,
money on that. Signals give you the money, you know, brother. There's nothing you do else. Give you the money and make sure you give them back when time comes.
Signals, I agree, say I'm going to give you the money before. We'll lock it down, we get everybody on board and say, all right, I need this, cool, I soon come. I'm going to the corner and say, yo, when lend me some money quick and fast, I have a deal on this for deal with it, right? So these guys are set. People worried about the ECL. The company is set up in such a way that ECL is not something that they have to really worry about.
They even mentioned that the way the ECLs work is that we have to book it. That's how things work. But on the back end, the collateral is there.
Exactly. It's heavily collateralized.
I'm wondering about thing there. The Signals real estate, it opens up thing there. It opens them up to be freer in terms of using real estate as collateral. Because say the deal goes bad, I call it killer, then I can just offload it into the real estate fund. I get back my cash and I can deploy that as soon as possible. I don't know they're not doing that right now, but I think a real estate fund having more money there makes that more easier.
And I would say that real estate, I mean, it's such a boring thing at its core. You don't want to hold that, so list it. They'll probably list it soon. They've spoken about listing, so they'll probably list it soon. The real estate, yeah, because just as how the business works, if I need to then utilize the value of the real estate there, why not double it up? Let me be able to utilize the value of the shares in the real estate fund, and other times I can actually utilize the value of the land within the real estate, with the actual asset within the real estate fund itself. And if I borrow money from you guys, us, well, not me, but you, well, no, sorry, at no point at the race have I contributed. I'm so sorry. Not really. but if I can borrow money from you guys, us the public.
Oh, that's a lie. I think I did participate in the first race at least. I was the one that crashed the stock.
The IPO?
You're welcome, guys. Yes, the
IPO. You're not the only one, I'm sure. But no, probably would have been there with you. People can go back and say, because we would have spoken about it at the time. But if you can buy the property, borrow the money, buy the property, then list the, you know the old. It's not a trick. I don't want to call it a trick because people are so fearful when it comes to the market. But it's good business. Borrow the money, get the asset, set up the asset holding however you think is best, and then list that company to pay off the debt. Yeah, it's perfectly good. It's even better if, and again, assumption on my part, I don't know. Maybe we should try and talk to somebody from Cygnus. But it'd be even better if I borrow the money from you, use the APO, meaning me being Cygnus, SCI, get that money from you, use it and lend the real estate holding company to buy the real estate or whatever. Then when I list the real estate holding company to pay the debt, it's actually Cygnus that is being paid. You have now sealed in your income. You've sealed in your profits also. And you're guaranteeing it because you're listing it to the public, who's probably going to run into it. I mean, the pensions love this stuff, the stable money love this stuff, and so I'm paying myself essentially twice. And I also own a piece of the real estate fund, so my asset base continues to grow, and then I can borrow against that, deploy more, and you guys will lend me money because I'm showing strong results, which I have baked in, showing strong results, and rinse and repeat. And I love Cygnus. I think every single year I can see a quarter or two where I must be a Cygnus shareholder. And after a certain point, it's probably just going to make sense to just remain a Cygnus shareholder. I don't know if I'm at that point yet, but the beauty is being able to buy it being able to buy it at $15 though. $15.59. No, this company is not worth that. This company is worth easily double. It's a $30 company, and if them did that real estate move, boom, it's amazing. You know, I always wondered what was the link between them and First Rock.
First Rock, yeah, I was wondering.
I wouldn't be surprised if they bought some of First Rock's real estate for First Rock. That'd be a really good deal. That'd be a very, very good deal. I like Cygnus. I really, really like Cygnus.
So somebody recently said he wished First Rock didn't pay dividends.
Somebody said that they wish First Rock didn't pay dividends?
Yeah.
Why?
They just get to the money and never talk about dividends.
Okay. But
you can't tell certain people that, as in terms of certain shareholders, they're satisfied by the dividends. So getting them in a raise has a lot to do with dividends. So
Yes. Yeah.
they raised privately before they raised publicly.
Yes.
There might be something like that.
Yeah. That is, I mean, different strokes. Or the beauty
companies. I'm sure I've heard people say that, but they don't pay dividends as a reason they wouldn't buy it. Some of them.
Yeah, lots of people have said that lots of people would say I've said that they wouldn't buy a company because of no dividends. And I believe, like, even Cygnus, to their credit, does pay dividends. This is not the correct dividend amount. There's even more. They pay dividends almost quarterly, it would seem.
Sure, a year.
Or maybe twice a year. Maybe twice a year, pinned to the US dollar, so that's even nicer. So you know that they're keeping the value.
You know, we love that over here. Say USD, people start jumping.
Yeah, and some days it makes sense, right? Because like right now, when I think that there might be more devaluation coming, could be wrong. I'm not a currency expert in the least, but they're definitely keeping their income steady by doing that. And they went ahead with their raise, right? They went ahead with their raise in JMD and USD, I believe, or is it a straight JMD? I don't even remember. All I know is Cygnus, one way or another. I mean, I don't touch the USD part of the company, but I know a lot of people do. Look at this drop, boy.
People mention the USD, I usually start talking about self-love.
Like I said that on Twitter the other day. That came up on Twitter the other day. I made a tweet that I was talking to, what's his name? They got Giovanni, I think Giovanni Hamilton, I think is his name. I know he likes the US dollar investments, and I'm always saying that I can't understand why people do that to themselves. I mean, I'm not saying that people shouldn't do that. I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense in certain cases. Let me be very clear, because I know these things get repeated and added different meanings on it. Not saying it doesn't make sense in some cases. For me though, with the low levels of liquidity that you see on US dollars, I mean, I think.
Because imagine you're an emergency and trying to exit certain companies. You know how much money you lose, or the fact that you just can't. If you have substantial volumes in certain companies, you say do.
I mean,
just open one of them and it's what happens on the buy side. Just selling.
On the buy, right. All right. I think Cygnus USD is probably one of the most liquid.
And that's terrible. Just imagine trying to sell. Imagine 100,000 units and trying to sell.
You have to take a hell of a discount. Hell of a hit. Yeah. You have to suck up selling something that you think is worth 20 US cents.
And I think about that in actually getting money. I think the lag in the price rise. How often it has been that people get up and say, boy, I see USD don't move. Prove USD don't move yet, despite whatever happening on the next side.
Proving USD seems to have a little bit of a buzz behind it.
I'm not a fan of proving right now.
Yeah, I mean, I try.
I try to more than once, but
yeah, it's hard.
It's hard. More to be desired. Recently did the acquisition of Heritage Fund, so there should be quality management fees on that.
Oh joy!
But Heritage is quite passive, so
very, very, very passive. Well, maybe that's good, yeah. That's people giving you their money. That's another insurance without being insurance.
Education insurance, exactly. I like that same terminology this week.
yeah. Yo, Proof is one of those companies that I would love to be a majority shareholder in.
Control it. You want to move it.
Yeah, man. It's one of those ROE companies. You know, if the E is me, if I have an expense line coming out of it, or if I can have proper control and I can direct it how I want, perfect. Just as a regular man who do have $200 million.
All right. Nah, I'm all right.
Yeah, man, I'm good. But yeah, so top two, that was your second one, that was my second one. I think that's a nice set. People have gotten a lot out of it. And if you want to throw in anything extra for the people.
No man. Well, extra for the people. I'm always here, guys. If you want an investment advisor, shameless plug, I'm right here.
Yeah, you probably should
talk about your goals, and we can work out a route towards your goals and the profits that you can see in the future.
And it's And it's an investment advisor that I've spoken to. So people ask me all the time, who is an investment advisor that I know, blah, 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 blah. Here's one that you hear me talk to all the time. So you know him have sense, you hear him understand it. And you also know it's not, don't tell yourself the lie that people tell themselves all the time. I hate hearing that. People say it about the things I say, people say it about the things you say. Oh, well, it's a rich people thing when I have big money like you. Stop assuming. We started with little to no money. We understand poor people's lives.
Trust me. Trust me.
Trust me.
Trust me. We spoken about releasing a Danhai episode before. So
yes.
We should get onto that as soon as possible. We can talk about certain things.
Yeah, because it's not what people think at all. People tend, the second you sound like you're competent with this thing, people assume that you're immediately rich.
Think of the thing there. Think of the big joke. We've spoken to people on the podcast before, and it's about the come-up journey and just affording things that the market has done for them. Big up Kareem from 876 Invest. Think about how he paid for university's masters just from the market. He wouldn't have it just because he paid for the masters and give mother back our money.
Yep. And there's a whole heap more stories. People link me all the time. People DM me all the time and tell me about it. People tell you very touching stories and very real life stories, and our own stories are there. So don't lie to yourself and assume it's not for you. Yeah, check it out. It is worth it. And you can definitely make a lot of money. And a sensible advisor is an invaluable tool. So
somebody tweeted recently that his wealth advisors my advice, and to be honest, they're not fair advice. Really, they're salespeople. So
it's true.
I think that's a good position that I've set up for myself, where I'm not tied to a house. I'm not at the end of a sale. If I tell you to buy some, there's no benefit for me in telling for you like that. So I don't get a commission on you trying to force it into a stock and make you buy as much and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell. Get into the money here. So
exactly. I love that. I think my view from long time on the state of analysis and recommendation. So I've seen it better now, and I'm happy that instead of complaining,
people are seeing the state of it. I'm happy that people are seeing the state of it.
Yeah.
Ask a man thing, and then he can't give you a real answer, regurgitating something just wrong quite too often.
Yeah, and it's there. You hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. I hear it on the TV show. I hear it on the TV shows. I see it in the monthly reports that are put out oftentimes. You see some crazy things. It's so iffy. I don't want to say anything because people take this stuff so personally. I see
it's just a joke. I know a lot of them. All right, so I recommended one just this week, and I don't recommend advisors on advice. I recommend them on customer service. So
exactly.
I don't use them for advice. So you can't ask me who give you advice. And at this point, if you're asking for advice, I'm right here, right? But I recommended them on customer service, and surprising, I just don't know the strongest backups in the world. He happened to be the person I'm recommending to. That's your advisor, and immediately she starts complaining. She can't hear from him. Send him an email and can't get to him. No advice when anything happening in the market. She's not gonna hear from him about it. She have to ask first, that type of thing. Crazy. So if they were at least good across the board at just giving me good customer service, putting in my trades, think about that. Just think about how much people can you recommend on just, boy, this person will get my trades done on time. This will get the funding done on time.
Yeah.
I said we need an advisor to recommend just for that. So somebody
Yeah. Yo, if you're a host and you're trying to change the game and you want to partner up, link us.
Link up.
Yeah, please link up. It can help you and it can help us, or you can continue to ignore. But the people seeing it, are seeing it. It's very plain. I'd have to say, I spoke once about competence showing itself. You don't have to say it shows itself. Yeah. So please up the service level, because the people are balling out for better, begging for better.
It's not a joke. It's not lunch.
Yeah.
Some of these people's money is their livelihood. This is their pension. It's them savings. This is what they rely on if anything goes wrong.
Exactly.
Joke. Exactly. It's not a joke otherwise. So
Yeah, it's not a sound good thing. It's are you able to prove what you are showing? You've heard us said this now for a year, almost 2 years, I think. We're still saying the same things. We're still proving it. We're doing show and prove, and we've been doing it for 2 years. At this point, it's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Danhai now doing it officially. You've heard him unofficially talking about it for this long time, so you know the sense is there. We didn't have to hide it. You can just go back and listen to the early episode
Exactly.
and check to see if it happens, right? Right? The people who know what I'm talking about, it shows. You don't have to sound good, you just have to show it. So please, people, help push your brokers, push your advisors. Yeah, and on that side, industry, if you're looking to do it, link up, we're more than willing to help you. I think about the times that I've offered to help for free.
Bro, we have been helping for free. Just think about that.
Yeah, no, well, obviously, God, even I can't deny the impact that I know that has sprung from me doing it. It's very free, very much. Love me or hate me, how many people I've heard, how many people still tell me that, well, boy, you know, I was there and them show me this website that you're on, or them show me your tweets, or how many, yeah, it's obvious, it's known. So please help. We want to help you. Step up. I don't know if I'm doing anything like that for free anymore, but yeah,
service is there.
Yeah, the service is there. It's not, remember, the market isn't government and the market isn't charity. It's business. There's no reason I'm going to help a multi-billion-dollar company for free. All right, they don't give us no charge.
They're not losing any money on me. So.
Yeah, they're making a lot of money. We've helped them to make a lot of money. Those trading gains, people, the increased interest in the stock market, it can be linked back to a very small amount of people. So yeah, big up those people, myself included. And Chris Berry. Big up Chris Berry, because yeah, the junior market without that man.
Quite other things.
Yeah, trust me. The junior market without that man would not be anywhere near where it is now. I should point out things like this. Let me just a one-time big up to My Money JA. If you don't know the website, you should know it now. Jump on and see if you can get yourself an account. By the time you're hearing or seeing this, you definitely can get yourself an account. So jump onto My Money JA. You can set up your portfolio. You can set up alerts so it can buzz you. You can send your emails when stock reach certain levels. You can see news. You can see your watch list. The overall market is there. It has little tidbits to depend on what you're looking at. I mean, nice little things that I like. These things like Fesco, which you know makes a lot of money from fuels. Boom. You can send an idea what the prices are. Little things like that. I even have to oversell it. MyMoneyJA.com, pick them up and jump on and get your account. It is worth every dime, and there's also a free tier, but it's worth every dime, I believe. So yeah. With that said, I think this has been another episode of Earnings Season. I am Randy Rowe at RT Rowe on Twitter. And I'm Danhai at H on Twitter. And this has been, guys. Big up. Yeah, top 2, but it's not 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Big up. Earnings Season, bro.